And welcome to Yodo1's YouTube channel. My name is Evelyn, and I'm here with Jason, who's one of our business development managers. So I want to learn a little bit more about Jason and what he does here at Yodo1. So tell me
Awesome.
about yourself.
Awesome. So long story short, my name is Jason. I was born in Taiwan, had kindergarten in Hong Kong, elementary school in South Africa, middle school in China, high school in Canada, and I came back to China to attend university. And then, after graduation, I was working as a risk consultant in one of the big four accounting firms.
Wow. So why did you move around so often?
Uh, I guess that's a little family thing, and also because I personally really love traveling. Who doesn't like traveling, right?
Yeah, too bad we can't have that anymore. So how did you find yourself at Yodo1 though?
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm a very big gamer myself, right? I play a lot of console games, a lot of mobile games as well. And I actually came in contact with Yodo1 games when I was just playing Radio Stampede at Hangline as well. I know that I wanted to do something that's related to mobile gaming. And it turns out that Yodo1 Games wanted to actually become the go-to platform for developers around the world to help them succeed even more. And that vision really intrigued me. And that sparked action within me to join Yodo1 Games. So
Wow, that's such a nice story. Okay. I actually didn't know about Rodeo Stampede until I looked into it.
oh man, come on.
Yeah, and actually they're an Australian developer, so yeah, I should have known because I'm
Yeah,
Australian.
no worries. Now you have all the time to play Rodeo Stampede. It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's very addictive. So what do you actually do as a business development manager? Like what do you even do?
So what do I do as a development manager in Yodo1 Games, right? Okay. I establish partnerships with mobile game developers from all over the world, no matter where they are, no matter the sizes. For me, I really carefully listen to their pain points and really put in the effort to engage in finding most applicable solutions that we can actually provide and help them out. So as a BD manager, right, we provide value to developers by actually solving their pain points.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're into gaming, right? Do you think that helps with like your relationship with the people you work with, or does it make your job easier at all?
Yeah. I'm a huge gamer. It definitely helps for from my perspective. I think it definitely helps. So let me use an example. All right. So for whenever I actually play games, there are just some games in which that I want to actually spend more time in, and when I spend more time in those games, that actually often led me to want to pay in those games. And a part of me, for some reason, I'm not sure what, but a part of me just became really intrigued, and I really wanted to dissect and figure out why like this kind of things was happening. Why was I spending more time in these games? Why was I willing to pay for these games? So it's actually really interesting. If you look at it from another perspective, games are products themselves as well. So there are differences between a good game and a game that monetizes well. A good game can be paired with an awful monetization mechanics. In that case, the developer actually has so much potential lying dormant in this kind of games. So yeah, a long conclusion. I mean, I think it definitely helps. But if you're not a gamer, it's still perfectly fine as well.
Cool. That's good to hear. So, like in your day to day as a business development manager, do you play games as part of that, or is that more just like in your spare time?
I do both. I mean, I love games myself. I play my developers game. I make sure that I know how their games are like, what kind of things that I can actually kind of contribute and really help out, increase the value that we provide for them. On just kind of like on my days off or whenever I have a little bit of time to myself, I play a whole lot of games.
So, what's your favorite kind of mobile game, and maybe an example of like a favorite game that you've worked with?
So my favorite, I don't really think I have a favorite game per se or favorite mobile game per se. Recently, I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is the scale that they're doing things, the way that they plan things out, monetize things. It's amazing. And they're also based in Shanghai. That's where I am right now. So that's what I've been playing quite a bit recently.
Oh wow. Yeah, I played Genshin Impact as well on my PC. It's crazy. It's very addictive. But yeah, I didn't get that far into it because I'm not the best at that game. So, what's your most enjoyable part of being BD, especially for you
My
know one?
most okay, so my most enjoyable part of being a BD with Yodo1 Games. Man, we gotta talk about games for a living. I mean, who doesn't love that, right? For me, I love it. I personally love meeting and connecting with people. talking to people. So a lot of the times, our partnerships with some developers really become something like friendships. I love seeing my own friends succeed, and whenever I can actually think back, I can say, "Yo, I was able to provide a bit of value and direction for a developer to actually on their journey to success." And let me tell you, that feeling is quite addictive. It's a great feeling and really propels me to stay motivated and continue to contribute to other people's success.
So, as you're part of a team, do you think this job is very team reliant? And since you're working remotely, do you think that has any effect on your work life?
So yes, definitely. It's I believe BD is definitely a team orientated scope. You got to rely on each other. You're not like a lone wolf. A lone wolf can't really go really far. You need to work on, help out and get feedback from each other. I think it's very important to really have an open line of communication where you get to talk to people and just kind of, well, first is connecting with other, just your coworkers as friends, as colleagues. But then on top of that, you really start tackling different things and hard things together, and that's an awesome feeling. And the second part of the question was,
I already forgot. Wait, so you
oh
said
man,
you have to connect with your own teammates and everything, right? But then, have you ever met any of your colleagues?
yeah, I've met a couple. The ones that are based in China, I've met a couple. The ones that are not in China, it's actually really funny. I mean, I haven't met some of them. I haven't met the other part of the company, or so we actually have about, I would say, one third of the company is currently working, remote or working from anywhere. They're not in China, and lucky enough, I was able to meet a couple of my colleagues in Beijing.
Okay, but then even those that are in China, it's still working remotely, right? You're working from home, but happens to be in China.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. So for us, it's not necessarily working from home. Well, first of all, working from home, WFH, and working from anywhere, so WFA, is slightly different. Working from home means you get to work remotely. Working from anywhere, WFA, means you have the freedom to really work from anywhere. There's no physical limitation. There's no borders. There's no country or whatsoever that's limiting this. The great thing about this is that we can work with talents from just across the whole world. It's not limited to any kind of like specific region anymore. For example, we've got people from Spain, Italy, Bangladesh, Australia, such as yourself, Evelyn, just to name a few. And for me, I love it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of pros and cons with working from home and working from anywhere, right? What would you say has affected you in the best and worst way?
The best and the worst way, most definitely. So the best way for working from anywhere is definitely that I get the flexibility of adjusting my work schedule accordingly. Sometimes in the morning, I want to just spend an extra 10 minutes, 20 minutes just drinking and sipping on that coffee. That is okay because I get that extra 10, 20 minutes. I can adjust my work schedule, which is awesome. There's no pressure or like somebody like breathing down your neck. You're like, why are you still drinking this coffee, man? Come on. So that's awesome. I love it. And that's what I think is the best thing about it. The worst thing about it is sometimes, every now and then, not very often, we got people working in the U.S., right? In U.S. and the country that I'm currently based in, China, we're on the opposite ends of the world. So sometimes, every now and then, we would have to, maybe get on the call that's slightly later than necessary, but that doesn't happen often. I wouldn't say it's the worst, but I think it's one of the things that you have to take into consideration when your company adapts WFA or WFH. But hey, if that's something that attracts people, we're hiring people right now, so you can find a lot more information at our Yodo1 homepage.
Yeah, definitely. I think time zone differences is hard to deal with because I think most of the people that I work with are also in America, even though I'm in the same time zone as China. So yes, it's tough. But I
Yeah,
also enjoy the flexibility. So
yeah.
do you get any special support from the rest of your team in terms of like working with different people from different countries? How do you deal with the time differences amongst everyone in your team?
Yeah, most definitely. So when you have people just from across, or like colleagues from across the world, it's very important that you got to have set meetings to really put everybody together, to really communicate, to stay in sync with everybody. And we always do that in a certain day, in a certain time and day within the week. Yeah, staying in touch, very, very important. Especially, it's kind of like a long distance relationship, right? When you're in a long distance relationship, you gotta be staying in touch, freaking important, so important. So that meeting, we talk, like update each other, like, hey, what's going on in my life? What's going on? How I'm working? This is what I'm doing. This is the results, etc., etc. So it's definitely very important.
Nice. That's a nice analogy. So, could you share some things that you've learned from actually doing the job?
That's actually a really great question. This job it has propelled me to learn quite a bit. Really changed how I see even the world sometimes. I think for the very first thing is definitely it's active listening. Realistically, before Yodo1 games, before I was a BD, I really thought the role of a BD was to just talk, like talk, 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 and no stop talking. But honestly, a conversation actually consists of two major parts. You got listening and you got talking. So if you're actually not listening and only talking, a lot of the information that you actually give out or topics that you mention during the conversation, they aren't as reliable or aren't as relatable to the other person, to the other party. So these two, they kind of they feed into each other. Listen to talk, you talk to listen. So these are highly relatable to each other, and they're like I call them a positive feedback loop, right? So they feed into each other, and active listening just contributes so much to the things that you talk on a daily basis.
That's a really important life skill. Yeah. And you have to use it every day. So,
For
what
sure.
do you have as a suggestion for future people that want to join as BDs?
Be fun. Be fun. No, I'm just kidding. So I think, well, definitely be fun and just being passionate about life is very important. But I think I should say something that's a lot more actionable, a lot more applicable to most people, right? Aside from just living your life and actually making sure that you're not spending too much time on unnecessary things. So three things that I think I should emphasize on for future BD talent is the very first one is never ending curiosity. The second one is communication with other people. And the third one is definitely don't take things personally. I think it's very, very important for BDs or actually just everybody in general to really stay hungry. There's so many things out there that's for us, that's open for us to learn and potentially utilize in our every day-to-day life. And the more you know, the more your unique perspective actually becomes. So really be a student, ask questions, and really learn to arm yourself with knowledge and with different perspectives. And then going into the second point is communication with others. This actually feeds right into the second one. Is once you actually learn about something, don't just bottle it up in yourself. Really throw them into action and really like try to talk and discuss to other people about them. Knock on doors, make connections with people, and just straight up be vulnerable to having others challenge your thoughts. That's how you kind of spark things and really move things along. You learn things, and then you communicate others, discuss about them. And the third thing is, the third point that I mentioned was not taking things personally. So they're all related to each other, right? What I mean by not taking things like personally is that when you talk to other people, chances are they're going to have differences in the way that they think, in the way that they probably utilize their knowledge in a different way. But it's very, very easy for somebody to become very defensive and think differently from you. But just stay open minded and ask why. Don't take it personally. Just really, again, it goes back to being curious and talking to other people and not taking things personally.
I agree. That's really good advice. I think for myself, I the thing that I struggled the most with was like taking things personally. I think that's just part of my personality. And yeah, being in Yodo1 definitely helped with that. Now I'm asking more questions and just taking feedback all the time. I think that's super important.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
All right, so thank you so much for your time. Thank you for telling me about yourself and about how life is as a PD at Yodo1. It's been really interesting. Thank you so much for talking to me.
All good, Evelyn. I'm happy to do this anytime. If you need me, I'm always here.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.